Hello guys, here today with the new BYD DOLPHIN SURF at the launch actually. So I've got a really short amount of time of the car, so I'm going to blast through this and read some notes off my phone for you. All electric city hatchback, they say it's full of personality and fun. UK pricing starts at 18.5 grand. There are 3 trim levels available. Let me just go through those now for you. We've got active, which is 18,650 quid. That gives you a 30 kilowatt hour battery, 137 miles of combined range, 0-62 time of 11.1 seconds. It can DC charge at 65 kilowatts and AC charge at 11 kilowatts. Then you've got the boost, which is 21,950. That's 200 miles of range. You've got a 43 kilowatt hour battery on that one. That was 12.1 seconds to 62. And then you've got the comfort, which is the top end. That's just under 24 grand, 193 miles of range, 115 kilowatt motor, which gets you from 0 to 60 in 9.1 seconds. Aside from that, you've got things like a 10-inch touchscreen as standard. That does do that BYD thing where it'll go landscape, portrait and all that kind of good stuff. So keeps all those influencers happy. And inside, initial impressions are pretty decent actually. I'm just going to give you a very quick overview of it. We're just going to chat through that as I show you lots of B-roll. But obviously we're not expecting lavish luxury in a car of this price point. But actually, do you know what? It does everything it needs to. Like, it's got physical buttons where you want them. It has got a lot of touchscreen based controls, but it's also got a very bright, colourful little driver information display. And do you know what? For a car of its size, the rear legroom's not too bad. We've also got 308 litres of boot space, which is fairly impressive for a car of the size. And initial impressions are pretty decent. But obviously, we need to go and give it a little drive. So let's do that now. Okay, so we've got the car on the road just for a little spin, and I'm giving you nothing more than initial impressions in this video, just because of time constraints. But initial impressions are really good, to be honest. There are 3 of us in this at the moment. Sometimes you have to share cars on these things because they have more people than cars. So there are 3 of us in this, and 2 of us are not slim.
Very not.
But it's coping with it really well. Do you know what? It's still got a little turn of pace. I must admit, I'm not entirely sure which spec of car we've been given. The guy told me it's a black one. But I think we've got the boost here simply because it doesn't have a wireless charging pad. I think you only get that in comfort. But it's more than quick enough for the city driving it's designed for. And do you know what? It just feels like a much more sensible option than something like the Dacia Spring for a lot of people. It's just far less compromising. Obviously it's not a Grand Tourer, it's a small city car, but it doesn't feel like it's got the compromises of something like the Spring. I can't really tell you about how much fun it's going to be to drive. And the one that's most fun in this class that I've driven so far is the Hyundai Insta, which is a total blast. But it feels more than capable, to be honest, this car. We're going over some ginormous big craters in the road here, and the suspension's coping with them well. It's comfortable, but not boaty, which is sometimes a bit of a difficult balance. So I touched on the intro about the fit and finish of the interior. You know, like, it's got some less than luxurious plastics and stuff, but some of the standard kit in this particular model is pretty impressive. I mean, we've got electric front seats, both sides, which you wouldn't expect in a car of this price point. Obviously we've got aircon, we've got sat nav, this swiveling infotainment screen, you've got CarPlay, all that kind of stuff. We've also got some fairly sensible steering wheel buttons, no like naff haptics or slidey things, just stuff that actually works and is where you expect it to be. And you know what, for pootling along at 20 mile an hour in the centre of London, as I am right now, it's just about perfect. You know, I've driven here this morning in a Tesla Model Y, and it's like a cyclist and pedestrian magnet. And something like this, you can just nip around. You can fit into tight spaces. You can cut into traffic when you need to. You know, you don't have to leave enough room for a land barge. It's pretty good, I have to say. And at this price point, it's definitely a contender and one to have a proper look at. Hopefully I'll get one in for a longer period of time at some point so I can give you a decent review rather than a quick first look. But time constraints are real. I'm going to put all the charging speeds up on the screen for you so you can have a look at those for all the different trims. But they're, again, for the size of the car, I don't think any of them are particularly compromising and should suit most people reasonably well. Obviously, if you've got a charger at home, then the world's your oyster. And instead of just 7 kilowatt charging at home, you can do 11 kilowatts, which is a bit of a bonus if you've got something that can live with that. But most people are going to be using this for local commutes and things. And I dare say you could live with one of these quite easily on a 3-pin. Because you're not going to be circumnavigating the globe every day, and it's a relatively small battery to fill. Another important thing for a city car is the visibility, like how much of it you've actually got, and there's plenty of it. Like, it's got a proper rear windscreen rather than like something weird and angled that you can't see out of. You've got decent sized mirrors, nice big forward view. It's even got a reversing camera, which obviously it's a tiny little car, but it just shows that they're not scrimping on the little extras that you know in a lot of brands you don't get until you get further up the trim levels, and you wouldn't get on a car of this size, not always anyway. So it's nice to see they've at least bothered with that. I think the top trim might have a 360 camera, and it's got loads of safety tech as well. It's already told me to keep my eyes on the road, which, you know, it should know I'm an excellent driver and let me off, but it hasn't. But it's all there. It's not lacking for anything. I think I expected less, if I'm being completely honest. I think they're giving you quite a lot of bang for your buck. One thing about the build quality, I mean, this is a car with 308 miles on the odometer, and there is a little bit of a rattle coming from the roofline in the back, and that kicks in at about 20 miles an hour. I don't know this because of my bat-like hearing, but I know it because my mate in the back is telling me about it, and it, you know, there may have been obviously a couple of corners cut, or it might just be a one-off, but you wouldn't normally expect a car with 300 miles on the clock to have a little rattle, but we'll give them the benefit of the doubt. So there we go, the little BYD Dolphin Surf, the next in what's becoming a longer list of electric city cars that are available at a more affordable price. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Of course, if you want to have a look at leasing one of these, there's a link to Lease Loco in the video description and a QR code popping up on the screen. Click on that and it helps the channel, and I need all the help I can get. This helps as well, as do subscriptions. See you on the next one. Huge thanks to all my channel members for your continued support. I really do appreciate it.